And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. How in the world are you doing today? Oh, I hate to remind you, but it's cold this morning. 24 as you're waking up. We'll get to high of about 48, but the cavalry's on the way. What is that I hear? 53 tomorrow. We'll finally pull out of the 40s after a long week of being cold. Tomorrow night, possibly not going below freezing. 34 is the expected low for Saturday night. Forecast coming up. We'll tell you all about the rain that is out there also. It's going to be a wet one next week, it looks to be. We got details on all that and so much more. Most of all, how do you feel? We certainly hope good. We've got a lot of details. It's Fun Friday. The entire gang is coming in this morning at 7. That girl. Also, we'll have Greg Odie already prepared here. He's early. Got his ball cap. He's prepared for what's happening. Even wearing red today.
Yeah.
Got to give Odie kudos. Ruth, good morning. Good to see you as well. Miss Diane, a big welcome to all of you WMOX listeners. We appreciate you joining the Scotty Ray Report. They'll be with us through the 7 o'clock show. We'll be right back as we go get our good word for the day. We have to have that inspiration, don't we? Let's go to Collinsville, to First Baptist.
Now, there are many reasons people are reluctant to give to the poor. Now, some of those reasons are indeed valid, but one reason we should take off the table is the fear of not having enough for ourselves. Sometimes we see that person in need and we think, well, if I share what I have, I won't have enough for me. And that seems logical. But consider what Proverbs 28:27 promises. It says, whoever gives to the poor will not want. That means that even though we give to people in need, that won't cause us to be in need. Now, how can that be? Well, that's because the Lord blesses those who are generous with the poor. You see, the Bible says that those who are generous to the needy honor God, and blessed are those who are kind to the needy. The Bible also says that whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and the Lord will reward them for what they've done. The generous will themselves be blessed by the generosity of God. So, are you considering giving to that poor person? As you weigh your decision, don't let the fear of not having enough for yourself stop you. The Lord will bless your generosity and provide generously. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message this morning. Always good to get a good word to start that day, isn't it? 24, as we said, as we wait for that high of 48 as you're trying to figure out what to put on. A coat, mighty important to carry with you today. Turn that heat up all you want there in your car. Any frost that you saw, Odie?
A little bit of frost.
A little bit of frost on the windshield on that pumpkin out there, so make sure to warm that up where you can see. In most cases, we highly suggest locking your car while you warm that up. Have 2 keys. As we start our headlines this morning, what's going on across America? What is shaping America? Sad news as I see this. It is something for someone who tries and tries and tries to get over cancer to be diagnosed a second time. And then a third time is what we find this morning. All My Children star Colin Eaglesfield has been diagnosed with cancer for a third time. Y'all pray for that young man. That is tough there to think you've overcome it and it comes back. Third time, we hope he beats it once again. Walmart managers. Wow. I didn't realize that it was getting so good. And this is called, let me see what the name of this is. Cluster. The guys that, regional managers, let me word it that way. That's people who manage multiple stores, multiple towns. They're getting a raise. They could make up to, with incentives, up to about $600,000 a year. Who would have thunk it would have paid so much to be a manager at Walmart?
Well, they ain't got no cashiers.
I've seen them with radios at Christmas, and I don't think I want their job. No. It's kind of demanding, and everybody comes to you that has an issue. But bless it, that's real good. They're getting that range falls from anywhere from $420,000 to $620,000 a year. If your store is doing great, that's kind of wonderful there. Big uptick there, and I think some others are going to be getting some more raises as well that work there on the local level as a regular manager. Do y'all remember the teenager who stabbed someone, or 3 people, rather, girls in the UK at a Taylor Swift concert? Do y'all remember that? And then I think she had to end up canceling the next show due to a threat. The person who did that, the teen who stabbed those girls, has been sentenced to 52 years in prison in the UK. Well deserved. 52 years Why did they do it? We don't know. The snowstorm that is, and this is the first, and maybe I've been in a glass house over the last few days of just looking at all this weather, and I didn't pay attention, but this is including wrecks and this, that, and the other. Did y'all realize that we had lost 11 people across the Deep South due to the storm? I did not know that. That is sad. I'll have to get into the breakdown of who, what, and how a little bit later, but my, oh my, that's a lot of people there. We had a security breach this week at the U.S. Capitol. They had a man that went inside who did have a gun. He wasn't there to harm others. He was there to harm himself, is what we're being told. He was arrested and taken away. No one was hurt, but he did get inside. I've never been. I don't know how that works when you go inside the Capitol. I would almost think that it's security, and more security. We see one American company stepping up to the plate. Have y'all heard about this yet? I'm proud of this. Any of you out there own a Dodge, Jeep, Durango, any of that? Looks as though they're going to be responding to Trump and, well, bringing back something as we look at this. The automaker, now they own Jeep, Dodge, other brands, confirmed that they're going to be taking multi-million-dollar investment back in the U.S. of A. They're going to be opening plants back up and closing in Illinois, opening that plant back up and building a new Dodge Durango in Detroit, a plant, bringing jobs back to the U.S. of A. from Mexico. We got to give them kudos. That's big time. I think it was 1,500 people that originally lost their jobs with that. Do y'all remember that? Wasn't it John Rich who had that song, They're Shutting Detroit Down? Do y'all remember that? Maybe we're bringing life back to it. On another note, GM is trying to push the all-new Cadillac that is EV. They're looking to be the number one in it. I don't think there's a huge market for that, but y'all go ahead. I am proud to see this also, as I read more about this. What I'm unsure of is if he was an illegal alien or not. I'm unsure of that. I've seen it written both ways. We do know that police were following. This was in D.C., a convicted, they were in a chase with someone. And the guy gets, during the chase, he gets killed. They were arrested for murder, the two cops. He has pardoned them, unconditional. They're going to be set free. Again, he was a felon. He committed a crime. Why should the officers go to jail for something this guy did? One of the worst cases that I've seen there. Went to jail. How many years was it? It seems like it was like 22 years they'd been sentenced to prison for murder. But they've been released. That's a big win for the Blue. Again, let me remind you, they didn't break the law. That guy did. He caused it all. It wouldn't have even happened had he not ran, had he stopped. This is good news. We're glad to see this. Makes you feel almost patriotic as J.D. Vance jumped on this. But Trump is going to visit the disaster zone in North Carolina. And then he'll head on to California. That's a big deal. It's almost been that North Carolina was forgotten. But he's going to both. He's going to North Carolina first, and then he will go from there to California to visit to see what can be done to aid those. I already understand that there is aid on the way in both places. We have someone that has been arrested for trying to climb the wall at Mar-a-Lago. Can't do that. Cuffs, he went away. We have a Rhode Island judge who specializes in immigration law, who's been fighting Trump all along, has resigned after the FBI has raided his office. We don't know what they got, but he resigned. We'll probably hear more about that this week. White House is saying mayors that choose to defy them could be arrested in these sanctuary cities. Wouldn't that be nice? Book them, Dano, as Greg said. That is right. I guess you could say, book them, J.D. We'll see what becomes of that also there. And as we talk about these folks that are getting deported that aren't American citizens, here's an example. South Carolina, a drunk driver that was arrested in December had been deported 3 times. 3 times and came back because we had no security. An illegal alien that was a suspect in a fatal, and let me say fatal, hit and run was arrested 800 miles away from the scene in Florida, headed toward the border, trying to get away. He's been arrested, and he's going to be brought back for what he done wrong. We also have another that was accused of raping that's been caught. All this has been going on this week. It's been out there for a long time, and well, action just not taking place. They're doing it now. Also, with this same note, as we're carrying on with what's going on with all of this, the immigration and everything, they're allowing DHS, the U.S. Marshals, the DEA, and ATF to carry out and give them the full throttle to do what immigration officers do. They're giving them the power to make the arrest. It's not just one agency now. This should be a game changer. Zelensky is, and I don't blame him, I'd be saying this now also, because he's afraid the money is supposed to go away. He said he'd sure like to end this war with Russia. Imagine that. Canada is making a call to the U.S. also, saying, hey, remember that Keystone Pipeline? We'd sure like to restart that. A lot of things are turning up, aren't they? Money for our American citizens, it'll help Canada as well. I figured this would come about sooner or later, and it is starting. Now, how much have you read into this L.A., the fires, everything that's gone on out there? It's almost if the governor didn't protect the citizens, isn't it? And what I mean by that, lack of water, they didn't cut back brush. You know, we have the wildlife forestry here. They take care of a lot. The Forestry Commission, state of Mississippi, and probably the state that you're watching, they clear back things. They burn every summer and the spring to keep vegetation down in case there was a wildfire. They didn't do that. First couple, and I don't know them, but they say they're some type of stars. Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag. I don't quite know them. They're the stars of the hills. New Beginnings, never heard of that show, but they're suing Los Angeles for the loss of their home because of negligence. Do they have a chance, or is that a frivolous lawsuit? I don't know.
Depends on where court is.
Yeah, I guess it does depend upon when the court's going to be held.
Judge is.
Who's the judge? Do y'all remember the retail queenpin, who I'm talking about? The lady that stole all of the products from Ulta.
Yeah.
She would have her people go out and steal everything, and then she would take it and put it on Amazon and eBay and resell it. She's been hit with $3 million that she's got to repay. They've seized her home. They've sold it for a little over $2 million, which was most likely bought with illegal funds sold from Ulta. She's got to repay the rest. They'll have to make payments. Is she digging in my trash over there? It's got to go to the dump.
He's on that help kit again.
Here is something that I was not even aware was a thing. And maybe a lot of you do. I don't know a lot about tattoos whatsoever. But Tennessee is introducing a bill that would make tattoo artists understand what human trafficking tattoos are. Apparently, if you're in human trafficking, they tattoo you somewhere, and it's a brand that you belong to a certain group. I didn't know this. And so they're going to teach tattoo artists, if you see this, someone wants this, they're a part of a sex ring, sex trafficking. Did y'all know that? I'd never heard of it.
Ways that the public needs to know what they are. So
Yeah.
if they see this out and about, they can make a call.
We need to spread that where everybody can see it, some examples of it. But they're going to be retraining those tattoo artists. That's interesting there. This is sad. I hate that it's happening whatsoever. I understand why they're going to do it, because they don't want the spread to happen. Bird flu, Long Island, they're going to have to euthanize more than 100,000 ducks due to that. That's bad. Bad day to be a duck. Average rate finally slips below 7% on a 30-year mortgage. You remember it had jumped up there the highest? Now it has just fallen under that. If you're keeping track, trying to borrow things. This is a good thing that people are doing in L.A. Imagine losing your home. You weren't at home, and your pet did manage to get out, and you don't know where it is. They've got an organization there taking care of displaced pets for people until they can come claim their pets. We hope all those pets are found and get back with their owners. Ridiculous as we go to Connecticut. And, of course, we don't hear a lot out of Connecticut. Doesn't a lot go on up there. Y'all remember hearing anything last week, Connecticut? I don't.
No.
Sad news is we see this as a kid was throwing a snowball. Someone shot them for it. Can y'all believe that? It's a snowball. Breaks my heart for something like that to happen. Ford is recalling, anybody got a Bronco, one of those new ones? They're recalling them along with the Maverick. Over 270,000 of them are coming back for a 12-volt battery failure. So check with your local Ford dealer if you've got one. It's a recall. They can fix it. It's not that big of a deal. Just have to set up your appointment, and they'll take care of it for you. John Ratcliffe has been tapped as CIA director. He has been confirmed. One of the first there. Marco Rubio and him are up and going. Also, Mark Rubio is planning his first trip. Did I tell you about that? He's headed off to Panama. A lot of talk about the Panama Canal, isn't it? He'll be headed there. We'll see what becomes of that also. And I know you saw this. We put up a post about this yesterday. Nashville, of the shooting that happened at the school. I was not aware of this until earlier this morning when I was going through the headlines that student partially live streamed the shooting that he was doing. I did not realize that. Have mercy. Such sadness there. We've got a lot more headlines coming up at the top of the hour. Let's see what else I wanted to mention here. That's somebody complaining. We'll tell you about some things going on in Mississippi. We've got a lot of headlines that's happened locally. We're going to fill you in on this. Plus, your weather forecast is next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with that weather forecast next. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Welcome back as we look at our record highs and record lows. 1972, it was a warm day. It was 80 degrees today back then. We'll go to 1963 when we had the low of 4 today. A lot of people remember 63. Cold year. As we look at the outlook for today, 46 to 48 is the best we're going to see on this map. 43-ish to 45 there in the Columbus area. All the way down to Natchez should be 47 to 48 as well. Let's go east into Bamaland and see what we've got. Demopolis there on the river around 47. We should see 47 as well. Livingston, Alabama. Over at Auburn, we'll see 47-ish, 45 there in the Gadsden area. Now, I want to remind you of folks in Alabama, we still have some black ice on the roads. This is going to be from Montgomery to Auburn, Troy, all in these areas there where that snow and stuff went through. It's been refreezing. It's going to warm up today, but there is black ice on the roads if you've got to be anywhere in the Montgomery, Auburn, Dothan, Alabama area. Look out for that. Be careful if you're going to be in those areas. As we move across here, it's warming up. We'll see the temperatures start to change beginning tomorrow as we move into next week. Speaking of, as we go for our highs and lows, what we're expecting, 47 today. Should be 22 tonight, but as we finally see out of the 40s for the first time tomorrow, 53 for the high, we'll get down to 34, not quite under freezing. That's good news. As we get into Sunday, we'll see rain moving into the forecast, and it's back and forth. You'll have 40% during the day, and we will have moved that up to about, I believe, an 80% chance of rain for tomorrow night. So it's going to rain during the daytime, increase it to more chances, and still be raining on Monday with a 40% chance. High of 56 is expected. That's warmer. Low down to 41. That's almost what the high is today. Tuesday, look at this. You want to talk about sniffles? 63, 65. That's Wednesday. Thursday, we'll see 63 with that rain chance each day. Look at this. 40, 20, 30, 40. Let's go all the way. It's going to be rain in the forecast until Sunday of next week. A week of it is what we see there. 68, 69. Folks, it's going to be 70 degrees in February. Groundhog Day rolls in with a high of 67. Rain is our little muskrat friend. We'll get wet that day. 49% chance of showers there. Low down to 46 on Groundhog Day. Will he see his shadow? I bet the odds are that he will. It's a rarity that little furry dude doesn't see it, isn't it? I've looked at the statistics before, and it's a small amount. Let's talk about fishing this morning. If you're going out, what's the best times today? The wind now is going to be west-northwest, 5 to 10. But look at this gust, 20 miles an hour coming off that water. That can be cutting. Your major times to fish today are around 7:40 this morning till about 10:40. So let's call it 8 till 11 is about the best time to be fishing. A minor time this afternoon from 12 until 2 if you're headed out. Sunrise 6:53. That's about right now. And we'll have sunset at 5:21 this afternoon. For all you deer hunters, you out there ready to go this morning? Best time to hunt today is 6:46. Right now through about 9 o'clock is your best times to be in the shoot house. You got a minor time this afternoon around 12:15 to about 1:30. So an afternoon hunt, midday hunt, however you want to word that. Again, sunset coming in at 5:21 and too cold to be in a tree as we look at that gust being at 20 miles an hour. Let's take a look at what radar has to offer this morning. It's going to take me a second. I didn't slide back over to my radar. As we look at this, I don't think we've got any rain or anything happening now. It's going to be moving in tomorrow. We still see the cold showing up on radar to our east. Look at this. All the way down to Gainesville, Jacksonville, South Georgia, southeastern Alabama, cold all the way up to Charleston, South Carolina. We've got a few showers here off the coast down here of Louisiana, near south of Houma, out in the ocean there, but not affecting us at all. We'll get that rain starting tomorrow. A little bit of fog to the west, south of Fort Smith, Arkansas, and as usual, we've got fog up in Knoxville, up around Asheville, North Carolina, if you're going to be in that direction this morning. Quick look at weather and what we have. Again, right now it's 24. It's just downright cold. Let's get some coffee rolling. Let's get this day jump started. Again, it's Fun Friday. Everybody's in the studio. We're worried about Julia. We're checking in. Greg's doing a temperature check on her. Oh, I heard a phone slam. Did y'all hear that? This woman could be in an ill mood.
I'm telling you. Like a curling iron overheated.
A curling iron overheated. Greg said he sure is glad his name ain't Tyler. Woo, doggy, as Jed would say. Y'all stay tuned. We'll see what happens at the top of the hour. A big thank you to WMOX Radio for joining me this morning. We appreciate y'all so much. We'll be back in roughly 4 minutes live as we'll bring you local headline news beginning at 7 o'clock here at the Scotty Ray Report. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you then.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.